Space weather talks about the effects on the Earth's magnetic field and its atmosphere from basically stuff that's coming from the sun. And just like on the Earth, terrestrial weather, there are calm days and there are storms. And these solar storms are due to really intense and complicated magnetic fields on the surface of the sun. And what happens is they boil up and they reconnect. And when they reconnect, they release vast amounts of energy, like millions of 100 megaton hydrogen bombs energy out into space. And that can be directed towards Earth. And well, when that happens, well, there's a lot of stuff that kind of happens on Earth. We can lose radio signals. We can lose communication with satellites. We can get increase in radiation for people that are out in space or people that are flying over the poles. You can get satellites to malfunction and start doing crazy things, or you could cause massive transformers to just blow up and give up. So imagine that. Imagine like a city that doesn't have power anymore. Imagine New York City without power for like a week or a month or a year. It hasn't happened, but the largest storm that we have seen happened in 1859, where at that point in time, what actually happened was telegraph wires. There was fire essentially streaming out of telegraph wires because of these currents that were being put through them. There was a man an operator in Washington, D.C. that had an electric shock that jumped from the telegraph machine to his forehead and knocked him completely out. Well, in 1967, what happened was there was a massive storm. This time what it did was it knocked out the radio signals. And essentially the US, although we knew about space weather at the time, forecasting wasn't something that was up and running. And they believed that they were having their radio signals jammed. And air fighters were actually on the runways waiting to possibly go out and start bombing our enemies. Until somebody took a second and paused and said, wait a minute, we got this message from NORAD. We heard that maybe there was something happening on the sun. I mean, what can we do about it, right? You can't stop a hurricane, you can't stop these solar storms. But what you can do is forecast, and you can tell people that something's coming, so that way you can take mitigating steps to try and make sure that this doesn't happen, that you don't blow transformers, and that people don't get hurt.